Welcome back. This lesson is about one of the most practical reasons trusts exist: kids. Whether you are thinking about your own kids, your grandchildren, or even nieces and nephews, or children of a dear friend, this lesson is about moving from simply handing over cash to building a future. Here's a simple truth that often shocks people. Legally, a minor cannot own significant property. If you leave your house or a large bank account directly to a 10-year-old in a will, a court will likely have to appoint a conservator or guardian of the estate to manage that money until the child reaches the age of majority. This often means extra court fees, annual reports to a judge, and a public record of your family's finances. But the real big ouch happens on that child's 18th or 21st birthday. In many states, the moment they reach that age, the court-supervised safety net disappears, and the child receives their entire remaining inheritance all at once, with no strings attached. Imagine an 18-year-old receiving a check for $250,000 or $500,000 on the same day they get their high school diploma. We have all heard the real-life stories where a sudden windfall leads to a series of terrible investments or wild oats being sown at a very high price. So today we're going to cover 3 things. 1. What can be done since minors usually can't inherit directly? 2. How trusts could provide a staged release of responsibility rather than a one-time payout that could land like a wrecking ball. 3. What some common tools look like at a high level: minors trusts, crummy trusts, and education trusts, without drowning in technicalities. Let's start with the first question. What can be done since minors usually can't inherit directly? In many situations, a minor can't legally control property in their own name the way an adult can. That means if a child receives an inheritance outright, someone has to manage it for them. And if there's no plan, a court may need to appoint someone to do that job. The first tool many people consider is the Uniform Transfers to Minors Act account, or UTMA. There are often state laws that make it incredibly simple to set up an account at almost any bank or brokerage. They don't require a lawyer, and they allow you to name a custodian to manage the money for a child's benefit. However, the UTMA has 2 major disadvantages. First, the child could gain complete control of the money at age 18 or 21, which may be earlier than you'd like. Second, large sums in these accounts could count heavily against the child when they apply for college financial aid. If you want more control, you might look at a Section 2503C trust, often called a minor's trust. This is a specific type of trust designed to allow you to make gifts that qualify for the annual gift tax exclusion. While it gives the trustee broad power to use the money for the child, it typically requires that the child be given a window of opportunity to withdraw the entire balance at age 21. Many donors feel that 21 is still too young to be trusted with a significant sum of money. This leads us to the most flexible tool, the crummy trust. Despite the funny name, it is a somewhat common strategy to fund a trust over time, while keeping the money under the management of a trustee well past the age of 21. In practice, it often means that when money is contributed, beneficiaries get a limited window of time to withdraw that contribution. If they don't, the withdrawal right expires for that year. By giving the beneficiary that limited, temporary right to withdraw each gift you make, you satisfy the tax man while keeping the bulk of the inheritance protected for the long haul. This is where crummy letters come in, annual notices that tell the beneficiary they have a right to withdraw. If you hate paperwork, you are allowed to dislike crummy trusts on principle. Those are all high-level concepts and discussions. The details get technical quickly, which is why these are typically designed with professional help. Now, let's talk about what you're actually trying to accomplish with a trust for minors. Usually, it's one of these goals. You want money available for a child's benefit, support, education, health, without handing a large lump sum to an 18-year-old. You want the money protected from bad decisions, bad influences, or simple immaturity. You want the distribution to happen in stages, so growing up comes before the big payout. This is where age-based distributions come in. You can design your trust to release money in stages. A very common strategy is 1/3 at 25, 1/3 at 30, and the rest at 35. This allows the young person to make a few small mistakes with the first portion and learn the value of a dollar before they handle the life-changing amounts later on. You can also include incentive provisions. You may have heard of the no school, no money rule. You can specify that the trustee could only pay for tuition, books, and living expenses if the child remains a full-time student or maintains a certain grade point average. You could even create a matching grant where the trust pays out $1 for every dollar the child earns through their own gainful employment. You can look at this as a form of mentorship in absentia. You're providing your family with your values and your wisdom, ensuring that your life's work becomes a platform for their success rather than a reason for their failure. If you only watched this video, here's what you gained. You know that often minors can't just receive an inheritance outright in many cases. You've seen how trust can be used to create age-based milestones. And you've seen a high-level map of common tools: UTMA, 2503C, crummy, and incentive trusts. If you are ready for a small immediate step, I invite you to perform a maturity audit. Look at your list of young beneficiaries. For each one, ask yourself, at what age would I truly trust this person with a $100,000 check? Just writing down that age for each child is a massive step toward building a distribution schedule that fits your real family, not a one-size-fits-all version. One final thing to consider today. If you have already chosen a guardian for your minor children, have you reflected on who will be the trustee of your children's funds? Making sure those two people can work together, or deciding if one person should do both, is a key part of your roadmap. You're doing the work of a leader and a protector, working to ensure your legacy provides stability and dignity for the people who matter most. Keep it up.